74% of Texans have been affected by domestic violence or know someone who has. And last year, there were almost 29,000 reported incidents of family violence and more than 1,000 sexual assaults. Who can you call? Well, the Houston Area Women's Center is one place to ask for help. Rebecca White is the CEO of the Houston Area Women's Center, and Celinda Guerra is the manager of the hotline and advocacy. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
I was looking at those stats, and I know those are stats for last year, and we think about this as being Domestic Abuse Awareness Month. It seems like we need to be aware about this every day of the year.
We certainly
big challenge out there.
We certainly do. And at the Houston Area Women's Center, of course, we are engaged in serving survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault every day of the year, 24/7. Have
the numbers of people who need help, do they go up when we get into stressful situations like Harvey, when you add stress, external stress into a family environment?
There have been some studies that following natural disasters that is the case, that you see the calls for help go up, and when there are financial stressors or other stressors that can exacerbate an existing violent relationship.
And Celinda, I know the hotline's open 24/7. When you have that many calls coming in, when you talk about last year, more than 40,000 calls dealing with domestic violence and sexual assault, those are amazing numbers. How do you have a staff in place that can deal with those kind of numbers? How does that system work?
Well, we do have, as you mentioned, a 24-hour crisis hotline, so we want to make sure that regardless of the time of day or day of the year, during Harvey, our hotlines continue to be open. So we prepare, all of our staff very well to make sure that they understand the issues that we're dealing with, and most importantly, that they understand that safety is a concern, and safety planning is such a huge part of the work that we do.
What kind of calls do you typically get?
A lot of calls from people just talking about it for the first time. It is such a difficult thing to talk about, and we are, just so fortunate that people find out about us, so that we're able, to address the concerns, to talk about the safety concerns, to be able to tell them about the services that are available and the options that they have, because so many people out in our community may not be aware that our organization exists.
Rebecca, how important is it for women to know that your organization is there to not only provide a safe place right now, but down the road you provide support to help them get their lives back to normal?
It is critical, and I think it's also important to know that the majority of victims of domestic violence are women, but men can also be affected too, and of course children, often the unseen victims of violence. So it is critically important for that process, that journey forward out of a violent situation and into a healthy, safe place. That can take years, and so we are there with counseling, with housing assistance, with the hotline is always there to provide that encouragement and support. Of course, we have a shelter that offers all kinds of services, daycare, we have a school on site, we have counseling and career development specialists to help them build the economic wherewithal to support themselves and their families going forward.
And you've talked to the women who've been there, I'm sure, and so when you find out from them why it took them a long time, a lot of times they've been in those situations for a while, what is it about the psyche that says, well, why didn't you call right away? What do you find that most of them say? Or I know that everybody's got a different story, but what generally is the reason for not calling right away?
Well, they may not recognize what they're experiencing as domestic abuse. It may have been normalized for them. It may be what they had seen growing up. And they may not know that they're not alone, that it's not their fault, and that there are resources available. And we know there are very legitimate reasons why someone doesn't leave a relationship right away. Economic dependence, fear, pure and simple, children, spiritual concerns. There are a variety of very valid reasons why they might want to stay, but knowing that there's support to help them in that process, I think, does make a difference.
Celinda, what kind of assurances do you try to give people who are coming out of those kinds of situations to give them a sense that this is going to be better?
that help is available, that options are available, and that we have the tools and the resources that they could possibly need to be able to move their lives forward. So many, support services, as Rebecca mentioned, we offer a variety of different services. We understand that this is not a situation that's going to be resolved with one phone call, and that once they leave that relationship, then they're done. There's so much more to do in these situations, and the Houston Area Women's Center is prepared to be able to address all of those challenges, all of those concerns with support services.
So if they even think that their situation is dangerous, they should pick up the phone and call. What's the difference between calling you or 911?
Well, a lot of times it's even difficult to call 911. Sometimes we are the ones that they trust to make that initial phone call. A lot of times people are afraid to call the police. And again, as Rebecca mentioned, with very valid reasons. There's a lot of fear, a lot of threats, a lot of concerns in these situations. So a lot of times we are the ones that they first reach out to. Now, of course, we always collaborate with law enforcement.
And I want to make sure that people know how to contact the Houston Area Women's Center. You can call them at 713-528-2121 or their website, hawc.org, or you can go to my website and I'll give you all the hotline numbers as well, because you have those too. Rebecca White, Celinda Guerra, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the work you do in our community as well.
Thank you so much.
Make a lot of people safe.